Hello, this is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly swing trade ideas video where we bring you stocks based on specific technical price patterns, all of which we're going to discuss in just a moment. As always, these videos are sponsored by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we're going to dive into some of the trade ideas here. And as a reminder, all of the price patterns and stock scans that we are looking at the IBD universe and our TR150 universe sort of merged together. And these are the stocks we are looking at on the long side. So the first scan we're going to look at, top left here, is our 52-week highs on volume scan. So very kind of classic stocks, 52-week highs, heavy volume. Let's pay attention to what these names are. And today I think is an interesting one here with DDOG. So this is Datadog, and you can see the heavy volume that's coming in today. Remember, we're recording this intraday right now, and it's already running 4 or 5 times the average 1 month volume, and you can see it's emerging out of a multi-month base right now. So you're getting sort of a day one type of breakout move here, big expansion in range, heavy volume, and again zooming out here at the top right of its trend history. So this looks pretty good, not just a 52-week high, but an all-time high. DDOG, keep an eye on that one. Number 2 here is NIO. So again, this one here, totally different sector now, going into the autos, hitting a all-time high. And you can see again, this is sort of a potential day 2 move. You can see the intraday action isn't completely pleasant because we did open higher and we tried to push up, and we are sort of failing a little bit. But the key level and the breakout from yesterday was this, let's call it $20, even call it $21. I think that's where you want to see this stock continue to hold to keep that momentum up. But NIO, another one that's moving attractively from this, kind of 2-month sideways range, all-time highs. I think this one's interesting. Third and final here is CCIS on the 52-week highs on volume scan. You can see again, we're getting that nice breakout here. The base is a little more kind of sloppy, but still kind of moved sideways for about 2 months or so. Heavy volume coming in on this move to highs. And again, if we zoom out here, this is an all-time high move as well. So those are our first 3 sort of momentum breakout scans. Another scan that I want to take a look at is our bullish engulfing scan. So that's right down here. So this is a technical bullish engulfing scan. We add a little bit of other criteria to sort of a classic candlestick pattern to make this what we think is a little more high probability. You can see JOYY here, I think, is actually a very interesting name. It has been pulling back off of its highs. You can see it's had a very strong sort of 2020, going from the 40s up to $100, nearly a double from the March lows to recent highs, and it's been basically consolidating since June. And after this recent kind of leg lower here, we're getting a pretty good expansion in range now. Bullish engulfing bar, engulfing the prior couple of days worth of trading, and it is launching to the upside. So getting some clear kind of support carved out underneath this name, into the mid 70s or so. That's basically the the line in the sand that I'd be using here if I'm interested in this name. Below $74, $73, I would I would no longer be looking at this stock. Last but not least, actually, no, we got a few more for the long side. PLD. Let's see if that is one. I think this is a pullback scan, and it is hitting here on our weekly time frame. So I wanted to show one on a longer term time frame. You can see PLD here is our pullback strength scan, and essentially what this is looking at is this consolidation that's been occurring here. Nice kind of bull flag on a very long-term time frame, but after this weekly candle last week where we had this kind of move lower, indecision, and then a springboard to the upside here. Looks like it could start to get going, could start to leg higher here. We'll see if we can get a strong close, start breaking above these recent highs, but that's sort of the look here that we are looking at with PLT. A couple of other names on the long side that I just want to throw up here. First is JD. So again, this one here, kind of a pullback setup as well, but you're looking at just again a strong stock that has been performing well for this week. This year, and now you're seeing after this consolidation, there's lots of ways you could kind of slice this. You've got some prior horizontal resistance right in here. It's starting to break above. Kind of rounded out this little bottom here. So JD starting to get its act together. Let's pay attention to it and see if it can continue to hold up. Another one that kind of fits the list here is CDNA. This is actually a position that we do currently own. In fact, we scaled some profits in this today. So our opinion here in the short term is that this is a bit overextended or overheated in the short term, if that's the phrase you want to use. We were purchasing this at the low end of the range. We scaled half of the trade off today, hit our first profit target, but we are looking for more. We're looking for this breakout to actually get some legs. And if we look here just at this consolidation that's taken place, it's been moving sideways here, very tight range for about 4 or 5 months or so. Definitely has the fuel to get going, and it's had some good volume on this rise up. So we still own it. We sold some today, and we're looking for into the 40s here for the next profit target. And last but not least, on the bull side here is MASI. I think this one is best shown on a weekly time frame. Again, you just have a nice kind of technically sound consolidation pattern here. After a very long-term uptrend up and to the right. We hit highs up around 250 or so earlier this year. We've since been, in the past several months, been consolidating these gains. You can see we've got just this nice little kind of tight, and you can even, kind of get a little more granular here inside of this range, but we're starting to lift back, starting to, move back to the upside here. So like the long-term prospects on MASI. Couple of short ideas. I only have 2 short ideas today that really look actionable. I think there are a decent amount of short-term stocks that are coming into resistance now. The market's been bouncing. We have some of the longer term or some of the intermediate term moving averages are still sort of declining or sideways. We've bounced for about 4 or 5 days. So I think in the short term, it might pay to be a little cautious, a little contrarian right here into this move. A couple of the names that we have, one is a straight up breakdown that is in the process of occurring. This is FCEL, FuelCell. So again, this hasn't, I guess it technically hasn't broken down just quite yet, but you can see it's down 15% today. It's carving out what could be a topping pattern up here. It's only a $2 stock. So again, I just think the technicals here look pretty interesting here if you do believe in sort of the short move here. And you can see what this has looked like over the past multiple years. Shorting low cap stocks, smaller floats, these have incredible risks behind them. So again, just know what you own, but this is one that's showing up on our breakdown scan here as this starts to make new multi-month lows. So let's pay attention to it. Again, might be interesting to you if that's your cup of tea. UCTT. Let's see if I get that one right. One more time. There it is. So Ultra Clean Holdings. This is semiconductors, which have been acting well. So you got to be cautious here on the short side, but we've got a very clear sort of, bear flag looking pattern here. We essentially have had a pretty, tough impulse leg to the downside here. So we've had this big move down, and then you've seen that we are just sort of flagging up higher. We've got lots of prior resistance up here. We've got prior supply that is all just sitting up in this zone here, and we're getting the stock sort of inching back in this channel towards this overhead supply. So UCTT, if this starts to break down, if this starts to roll over, it's down today, this could be an interesting candidate here. Again, it's in a strong sector right now, so you got to make sure you're aware of that, but at least a technical idea here that looks interesting. So that's it. That is what I have on this week's edition. Lots more on the long side this week, and mostly on that longer term time frame. We looked at a lot of weekly charts and those bigger patterns. That does seem to be what's potentially moving in the short term. Again, it's still a volatile, kind of choppy market, so you have to be nimble, you have to be experienced if you're trading these multi-day moves and you're looking for, profit over the next 1 to 3 days. So be cautious out there. Hopefully this video helps. As always, thanks so much for tuning in. Every Wednesday we do trade ideas like this, always some different looks. Got some new scans coming down the pipeline that we're going to start showcasing here. So that's to come in the future weeks. So thanks as always, and we'll see you in the next video update.